Hi, and congratulations on your 2020 Nissan Altima Platinum. This is a truly amazing vehicle. I know you're going to love it. I know there's a ton of features to go over in this, so let's get to it and refresh your memory on what you got. We're going to start here at the infotainment system. You've got a beautiful 8-inch touchscreen display. Right away we can see that we've got navigation on this, super simple to work. If you know where you're going, go to destination, then add in your street address. If it's outside of your area, I recommend starting with city. Otherwise, just punch in the actual address of where you're going. It'll ask for the city next, and then you're good to go. If it's outside your state or province, you're going to want to switch that first. If you're just looking for something locally, maybe you haven't had your morning coffee yet, let's go to points of interest, hit coffee shops, and it's going to start with what's closest to me and work its way out. Very, very easy to operate, easy to access everything. I've got a back button up here. I also have a physical back button down below here. I'm going to switch over to my audio. With my audio, I've got AM, FM, satellite, which is free for the first 3 months, Bluetooth audio. Then we've got a few other options here. So when I hit my source, I see I've got USB 1 and 2, which are down below here, and they are marked. USB 1 is a Type-C USB port. For anybody who's not familiar with that, Android has been using Type-C ports for a while now. If you have an Apple phone, you can get a cord that's got a lightning port on one end and a Type-C port on the other end. The other USB port is just a traditional USB port. We've also got auxiliary here. What you don't see is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which are available on this. If you have an Android phone, you do need to first download the Android Auto app before you can use Android Auto. It is a free download from Google Play. Once you have it connected, it will appear here as well, and those are sources for audio as well. I have 12 presets on my AM and FM. If I move over to satellite radio, I've got up to 18 presets, so I can set whatever I want there and I'm good to go. If I'm streaming through AM, FM, or satellite, we're going to see some controls on the steering wheel that will go through the presets. If you're streaming through Bluetooth, USB, or Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, those same two buttons are going to skip through our tracks for us. Easy to operate everything here. My camera, now if I push the button while I'm parked, I get a view out the front using the front camera and the front grille, as well as a 360-degree bird's eye view around the vehicle. If I put it into reverse, I see the exact same thing, except now I've got a view out the back, and it's beeping because I'm within range according to my distance markers there, and I still have my 360-degree view. Now if I press the camera button again, on this side, I now have a view down the passenger side of the vehicle, at which point, if I put this yellow line on the curb that I'm parking next to, I'm about 6 inches away from the curb. Again, gives me just the back, and then once more puts me to where we were. I'm going to shift back to park. This view out the front will come on when you're in park so that you can see what's around you and what's in front of you. Or if I'm in drive, this view will stay until I hit 10 kilometers an hour or until the screen has been on for 2 minutes. So it's great if you're pulling into a parking spot to see the distance ahead of you. Now I'm going to press this a couple more times to turn it back off. Down below, we've got our climate control system. It is dual climate control. Right now I have it synced so that both are set for the driver's setting. I do have it on auto, and this is something I do highly recommend, is find a temperature that you like and set it for auto. Never worry about it again. What's going to happen here is it's automatically going to adjust my fan and where my airflow is going. Now, if I want to manually adjust those, I can adjust my airflow right here or put it on the front windshield using this. The moment I do either of those, auto turns off. So I'm going to put it back over to auto. The same thing happens if I manually adjust the fan. Auto will automatically turn off. I have a heated steering wheel here in the center, and my heated seats are on the sides. The only other thing I do want to point out with this is with your remote start system, and we're going to go over that shortly. In the winter, if it's below 3 degrees outside and your engine is cold when you remote start, right away we're going to get a temperature warning up here in the form of a snowflake. When you remote start under those conditions, regardless of what your climate control is set for here, all of your airflow will get focused up onto the windshield and the 2 front side windows using these vents on your dash here. It's going to automatically turn on the rear defrost and the heated steering wheel. And when the rear defrost comes on, so do your heated side mirrors. Once you get in and engage the vehicle, your climate control will go back to normal, but your heated steering and your rear defrost and heated side mirrors will all stay on. Now, if you had left the vehicle with the heated seats on when you turned it off, they will also come on and start warming up your seat when you remote start under those conditions. Now I'm going to turn these back off. It's a bit warm outside for that. Up top here, we have an auto dimming rear view mirror with home link. So with the home link, you can set up to 3 garage door openers right here. It will auto dim when anybody is behind you, whether it's a large truck or a vehicle with its high beams on. The garage door opener to work it. Parked in front of your garage door, press and hold your garage door opener and press and hold whichever of the 3 buttons you want to sync up to. The light will flash red a couple times. When you get to a fast flashing red, let go of the button there and your garage door opener. That will sync the 2 of them up, and then you can simply use one of the buttons, whichever one you've set, to open and close your garage door. On my steering column, we've got a few different controls here. So Bluetooth hands-free, this phone will answer a call or hang up a call. My voice recognition will allow me to make an outbound call, or depending on the type of phone that you have, if you press and hold, it will access your phone's voice recognition system. Now with my navigation system over here, if I go in to set a destination, everything is there and it will allow me to do so while I am parked. Once I start to drive, these are all going to gray out. However, you can set it using the voice recognition system like so.
Please say or select a command.
Navigation.
Navigation. Please say or select a command from the displayed list.
Street address. 60 Baker Drive, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
Please wait. Street address. Showing matching locations. Please say or select an item number from the displayed list. 160 Baker Drive, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Calculate route or adjust location.
Calculate route.
Calculating route. The route calculation is complete. Proceed to the nearest road.
So as we can see there, I can do that while I'm driving without taking my hands off the wheel, without trying to fiddle with the navigation system over here. It works very well. I do recommend for any numbers, speak each number individually. So instead of saying 60 Baker Drive, say 60 Baker Drive, and the system will pick it up much better. So that's how to work our navigation, and that will work right from this button as well. My blue button here is going to turn on my cruise control, but it's also going to adjust a whole bunch of stuff here. So we're going to get into all of those functionalities in a couple minutes when we're going through our safety shield screen. I can set my cruise, I can resume, I can cancel, I can increase the speed or decrease, but I also have adaptive cruise, and I can see by default it is set for 3 car lengths plus some safe distance. I can adjust that with this button here. So if I push that, I see it drops to 2 and then 1, and then it's back up to 3. Now, just as an example, at 1 car length plus safe distance, doing 100 kilometers an hour is approximately 2.5 car lengths. If I just want normal cruise, I don't want adaptive, I don't want any of the extra safety to go with it, I just want normal cruise. I'm going to turn my cruise back off. Now I'm going to press and hold my blue button here, and I can see up top here it changes. So now I have normal cruise control. It's not going to adjust for the vehicle in front of me. It's not going to adjust based on any of the conditions around me. It's strictly normal cruise where I am 100% in control. So we're going to just turn that back to our normal cruise. On our left side of the steering wheel, we've got our volume buttons for our radio. So on the audio, if I hit the volume, I have great sound quality because you have a Bose premium sound system. Down below here, we talked about these. You can go through your presets on the radio or skip tracks on Bluetooth, USB, or Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And then we've got our OK button with the arrows around it. Now I'm going to hop back a couple screens here just so that we can start at the beginning. This is our home screen. On the home screen, I have a digital speedometer as well as my radio info. I can change my screens using the OK button, and I see a little up and down arrow over here, so I'm going to hit the down arrow, and it takes me to a second screen where I now have my average speed and my speedometer, and then I have a blank screen. Now normally I turn this off, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So we're going to put it back to the main one, and we're going to go to the right one screen, We see our fuel economy here. Now it's running very high for this vehicle, and we're going to see why in just a second. I can press and hold the OK button to reset it, but I want to come across to the next screen, and we're going to have a couple more screens here. I want to see why it's running so high, and we do right away. In an hour and 58 minutes, we've gone 36.7 kilometers. That's why our fuel economy is running so high. So now I'm going to press and hold the OK button. That's going to reset that, and if I go back one screen, I can reset that the same way. Now everything is reset. I'm going to press our down arrow, and we see we have a tire pressure monitoring system on this vehicle. With that, once I start driving, it will show up here on the screen, and it'll show me the air pressure for all four wheels individually. Once that appears, I can monitor that. If I ever get a low tire pressure, it will pop up and tell me low tire pressure. From there, it's going to tell me which tire is low and what the exact pressure is. All I need to do from there is go to a gas station or go somewhere that I can put air in the tires, go to the tire that it says needs the air and start putting air in. When you get to the right tire pressure, the horn is going to beep to tell you to stop. If for some reason you don't stop or you go to the wrong tire, it's going to hit an upper limit, at which point it will beep 3 times in a row. Please stop putting air in your tire at that point, otherwise you risk ruining your tire. If you do hit that upper limit, we do recommend that you do the same thing to your other 3 tires as well, so that all 4 tires have the same pressure and you get even tread wear. We'll go down another screen. We have speed sign recognition on this one. This is a really neat feature. It's always going to be listed up in the top here, but on this screen you get a bigger view of it here. So as I'm driving along and I pass a speed limit sign, it's going to post the speed limit right on the sign on each one, so that I can see what the speed limit is for where I'm at. So even though I might have missed the sign myself, the vehicle has picked it up using a camera up in here, and it has posted it down on the screen. And if we go down again, we're back to where we started. So our next screen over to the right is our navigation. If I leave it on this screen, this is what it looks like. However, once I have a destination that's set on my navigation and I start driving, then that destination is going to go through and the screen is going to change, and it will become an arrow going up to the right or the left, whichever direction my next turn is, and it'll count down the distance on the screen for me. Our next screen over gives me my radio info. Now from this screen, I have total control of everything to do with my audio right from this screen. So we've already talked about how we've got control of the volume. We can go through our presets or skip tracks. But from this screen, if I press the OK button, I have access to switch the source of my audio. And we see we've got AM, FM, satellite, and auxiliary. And the moment there's something connected to either of the USBs or Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, those will show up as features as well that we can select. I'm going to press back and we're going to go to our next screen. Now we're into our safety features. So this screen, as we mentioned, is for your adaptive cruise. It shows you your distance, but we're going to go down one and we're going to talk about all the safety features that you get with this vehicle. Each one of them will give you a visual cue on this screen when triggered. So we have automatic emergency braking and forward collision warning. Your forward collision warning is something that you will experience. For example, you're driving down the road and the car in front of you is going to turn into a driveway, so they slow right down to about 10 kilometers an hour around that turn, but you're still approaching them at 50 or 60 kilometers an hour. So now the radar picks up that you're getting very close, and inside the vehicle it will beep at you. The car rounds the turn into the driveway or onto the road, and all the beeping stops. Nothing more happens. Your automatic emergency braking starts off the same way. As the car in front of you piles on the brakes inside the vehicle, it's going to start to beep at you. The gas pedal will push back against your foot a little bit, but you're not going to feel it because your foot's going to be lifting to go to the brake. If it doesn't get across to the brake fast enough, the beeping will get louder and faster, and if necessary, it will start to apply the brakes on your new Altima for you to help avoid or minimize an oncoming collision. The forward collision warning will pop up a yellow warning on your screen here. Once it gets into that stage that it's getting ready to apply the brakes, it's going to pop up a red warning across the screen. You have pedestrian detection as well. Now your automatic emergency braking, forward collision warning are run through a radar system in the front Nissan emblem. Please make sure during the winter you clear that off. Your pedestrian detection, along with other functionality, is run through a camera up in your windshield behind your rear view mirror. Again, make sure in the winter you keep that nice and clear. For the pedestrian detection, it's going to work the exact same as the automatic emergency braking, except it's going to work much faster. And the reason is when the automatic emergency braking kicks in, the car in front of you has just piled on the brakes, but it still has some forward momentum. With the pedestrian detection, that person in front of you who's just walked out does not have forward momentum, and we're looking to avoid giving it to them. You also have lane departure warning. So if you start to drift out of your lane with no signal lights on, inside the vehicle, your haptic steering wheel is going to vibrate and it will give a tone so that you know that you're drifting out of your lane. Now, because we've got the cruise control on, we see up here, we've got a car with some circles around it. So as long as that's on, if you start to drift out of your lane and you're not correcting it, the vehicle is going to help pull you back into your lane. For example, if we're drifting to the right and we're not correcting it and my steering wheel has vibrated and given me a tone, I'm still not correcting it, my left brakes are very subtly going to tap to help pull me back over into the lane. You're not going to feel the left brakes tap, but you will feel the vehicle readjust itself. You also have rear cross traffic detection. With your rear cross traffic detection, we're going to make use of our blind spot indicators, which we'll talk about in a moment. But when you're backing out of a parking spot, if there's movement coming towards you from either direction within about 2 car lengths inside the vehicle, it's going to beep at you. And whichever side the movement is coming from, your blind spot indicator on that side of the vehicle will be flashing to let you know you need to wait a second. Something's about to go past you in the back from whichever side the flashing is on. Our blind spot indicators are inside the vehicle on each side. When there is a vehicle in your blind spot, they will light up a dull orange and stay lit up as long as part of that vehicle is in your blind spot. Now, while your blind spot indicator is lit up, let's say that the driver's side indicator is lit up, and while it's lit up, I want to go left. So I signal to go left. My indicator now starts flashing, and it will beep 2 or 3 times inside the cabin to let you know that you do need to have a look over your shoulder because there is something there in your blind spot. If you have your music up too loud, you're probably not going to hear the beeping. You have rear sonar as well, so as you're backing up, it is going to beep at you, as we heard. The closer you get, the beeping does get louder until the automatic emergency braking in the rear kicks in. Once you get within that steady tone, if you're still backing up at 15 kilometers an hour or less and you're not stopping, automatic emergency braking will kick in, as we just saw, to fully brake the vehicle. When that happens, it will hold you for 2 seconds and then release the brake if your foot is not on the brake. So you do need to make sure to get your foot on the brake when you're backing up. It can be a little sensitive. Any object in behind you will force it to stop. All of those will give you visual cues on the screen there for anything that does go on. Our next screen over is our settings. Now, there is a couple settings that we do normally change. We're going to go through and make sure that you're familiar with those. So first thing that we're going to do is go down to vehicle settings, and I want to go down to locking and then auto door unlock. Right now it's set to ignition off, which is pretty standard for Nissan. So the only way to automatically unlock the doors is for the vehicle to turn off. We're going to switch that so that the moment we shift into park, it will automatically unlock. Now we're going to hit the back arrow right here on our steering column to go back a screen, and we're going to do it a second time. I want to go down to wipers and turn on speed dependent. So when my intermittent wipers are on and we're driving along locally, they'll have a certain time delay on them, and then as we speed up turning onto the highway, that time delay is going to shorten because they are set for speed dependent. So we're going to press back again. The only other thing, 2 other things that I want to point out is maintenance. We want to make sure that this is set, wrong one, for oil and filter for every 8,000 kilometers. Nissan does recommend that you change your oil every 8,000 kilometers or every 6 months, whichever hits first. That way you maintain your warranty and you're not going to have any issues with your motor. So we're going to back out of there. And I want to customize my display and the main menu. I did mention earlier that there is a blank screen that I normally turn off. So we're going to go down. There it is. I'm simply going to press the OK. It's deselected. Everything else is on, and I want everything else on. So I'm going to press back. Now if I hit the right arrow, I'm back to where we started. Buttons down here on the left, we've got a trip reset. Now we saw a trip odometer already on one of our screens, but if I press this trip reset, I see that my odometer now switches to trip A and then trip B, and if I press and hold, I can reset that. Once more, it gets me back to my odometer. So you really do have 3 trip odometers on your vehicle. We have our dash brightness here for when the lights are on. This button is going to pop my trunk open. My steering wheel is for Pro Pilot Assist. You are equipped with Pro Pilot, and I have a video done on that if you want to watch it. It was done in 2018, so you have to scroll back a bit on my YouTube page to find it, but it is there. It's about 5 minutes long. Pro Pilot is a fantastic function. It was designed primarily for long drives or late night drives. It's going to utilize the camera up in the windshield here to read the lines on either side of you, all the while utilizing the radar in the front to keep a safe distance from the vehicle ahead of you. And then it's going to keep you centered in your lane. You can turn that off by pressing our steering wheel button over here, and it'll say steering assist off. I'm going to turn it back on, and we'll notice right up beside our cruise control, when I turn it back on, the steering wheel pops back up there. Great little feature. I do recommend watching the other video will give you all the ins and outs of how it works. A couple final things here. We do have memory seats to go with this. So my memory seat's down here. Get your seat in the position that you want it. Get your side mirrors where you want it. Then we're going to press set and either driver 1 or driver 2. It's going to take you about a week to get your permanent position. But as you do, every time that you readjust it, just do the same thing. Hit set and then driver 1 or 2. Once you've got your position set, if someone else has been in the driver's seat, when you come back out, whichever driver position you are, just press that button and your seat and side mirrors will go back to their designated position. We've also got a key fob for this. So it is a push button ignition, as we can see down here. With my key fob on the bottom, I've got my panic button. Then I have a trunk release that I can press and hold to open. Unlock, lock, and remote start. To work your remote start, you're going to press the lock button and hold the top button for 5 seconds. It will remote start your vehicle from up to 200 feet away. You can do 2 remote starts or 1 remote start with an extension without ever engaging the vehicle, but then you do need to get in and engage the vehicle to reset it before it will allow you to do it again. When you remote start, it's going to run for up to 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, if you don't get in and engage the vehicle, it will turn off. Providing you do get in and engage it, all your stuff goes back to normal. And to engage your vehicle when you remote start, you do the exact same thing as you do to start it. You put your foot on the brake and press and release the start button. It will tell you right up on the screen there when you get in every single time what you need to do to either start or engage the vehicle. Now, because it is a key fob, there is a battery inside, and eventually that battery is going to die. They typically last 2 to 4 years. When your battery starts getting low, up on the screen here, you're going to go to start the vehicle, and it's either going to tell you low key fob battery, or you'll try and start it and it's going to say incorrect key ID. If that happens, let the message go away, try it again, it should start. That's your indication that it's time to get a new battery for your key fob. If you go to the point where your battery dies, on the back of the key fob, there's a little switch that if I move it over, I have a key for the driver's side door to unlock it. Now, because the key fob is dead, once I get in, take the Nissan emblem on your key fob, put it directly against the start button with your foot on the brake, use that to push your start button in. It will still start your vehicle even though your fob is dead. From there, you're going to want to switch your key fob. Now, you can either take it to your nearest Nissan dealer and they'll do it for you. It's about $8 or $9 to do it through them, or you could do it yourself by putting something flat into one of those 2 recessed areas and giving it a little twist. That will pop your key fob open. The battery inside looks like a watch battery, just bigger, and the number on the battery is your battery size. Pick up a new battery, pop it inside, clip it all back together, put your key back inside, and then you're good to go. Congratulations again on your 2020 Nissan Altima Platinum. This is an absolutely amazing all-wheel drive car. I know you're going to love it. I hope this refreshes your memory on all the features that you got with it. If you still have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. You can call, text, email, or stop into our dealership at 60 Baker Drive in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. We'll do everything that we can to help answer your questions for you.